Okay, let's get started. Hi, I'm Bill, and if this is the first time dropping into the channel, welcome. Well, if you saw my video, the GL INET Burl Goes Astro, in that video I said the next time you would see me was up at the Golden State Star Party, so I kind of told a fib. I read the comments where I was asking for input on which camera should I use at the Star Party. Should I use my 533 MC Pro or ASI 294 MM Pro monochrome camera? And I really appreciate those comments. They were helpful, and I thought I'd kick out one more video before I leave for my trip and share with you what I've decided to do. And you could tell me I'm crazy, and that's fair enough. But I just thought I would share. Again, I'll be up there on the nights of June 29 through July 2nd. Break down on the 3rd of July and head back home. And here's what I've decided. Okay, so I've made a decision, and it is I am going to sit on one target. I am going to do the Veil Nebula, both the east and west. I'm going to create a 2-panel mosaic. I'm going to use my ASI 294 MM Pro monochrome camera and use my filters HA S2 and O3. Now, I had said that I wanted to use this trip to shoot RGB and then do a star replacement. I think the challenge is big enough with me having to put together a mosaic in PixInsight that I'm going to leave the RGB stars out of it for this trip. And I'm going to image across 4 nights, and here's kind of the plan per panel. It will be distributed across the 4 nights, but ultimately these are the integration times per filter that I'll be capturing. I've decided to do a 30% overlap to allow some sufficient room for cropping, and the total integration time will be 7.2 hours. So again, what is really the integration time where you have 2 panels? So I'm scoring it as 7.2 hours. Now, if I was, so there's several thoughts. I don't want to downplay the importance of Bortle 1 skies. In some forums, people have referred to those as precious moments. And again, I don't want to downplay Bortle 1, but I'm seeing some fantastic images being produced from imagers in very light polluted skies. So, while I think it's fantastic that I'm going to be able to image under Bortle 1 skies, when I try to look at, how precious they are to me, and again, I'm set up to travel, so I'm a traveler. I'm going to shoot more on the road than I am going to shoot from my backyard as I go forward. So, of the sites where I have the ability to image from these days, there's the Sacramento Valley Astronomical Society Blue Canyon Airport site that's a Bortle 3. So if I take a look at the 7.2 hours, and I look at the sky quality meter rating, my 7.2 in Bortle 1, I would need an equivalent of 8.7 hours in a Bortle 3, and down at Goat Mountain Astronomical Research Station, GMARS, being a Bortle 4, I would need 9.72 hours estimated to get the same level of signal to noise in an integration. And then if you look at my backyard, which is Bortle 7, if we believe this equation here, I'd need 135.14 hours. So again, I think sitting on one target for the 4 nights with my ASI 294 Pro monochrome camera is the thing to do. And the reason I think that is the West Vale Nebula in particular is composed of both HA, S2, and O3 gases. And so I would like to, use each of my narrowband filters to try to capture uh, those three ranges. That was my thought. And then if we go into the framing assistant here, it seemed to me with a two panel with my ASI 294 field of view, I could get, the majority of the Vale Nebula in into an image. And I think rather than shoot pieces, I think I'd like to try and attempt to shoot uh, this entire area here. And so that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. I went ahead and I built my sequence. So I have my sequence here with durations per panel, but essentially HASI 03. Right now I'm planning on 180-second exposures. I am tending to shoot shorter exposures these days. And so there's the setup for panel 1 and then the setup for panel 2. So this is kind of my current thinking. I did look at, if we go into my other camera, okay, and then I went into Sky Atlas and I took a look at the same target, and then I went into the framing assistant. Um, I'd have a limited view, and then I also thought about shooting the North America Nebula. So if we bring that one up, I really felt to make it interesting, I would need to do a 4-panel mosaic with the 533. So at the end of the day, I find the Vale Nebula very interesting. It tends to be faint, as I understand it. It can be a challenge to image. And so, I don't mind a challenge. And, the mindset that I'm bringing up to the Star Party is I want to go there and have fun. I want to go there and meet other imagers. I want to find out about them. I want to find out about their gear. Why did they choose the gear that they chose? And for those imagers that may have a potential, are imaging with something that I might like to image with in the future, as far as imaging galaxies, I want to spend some time getting to know them and getting to know their gear. Setting up to do the Vale Nebula, it will be enough of a challenge, and in my mind, because I like a challenge. And it's just time for me to learn how to do a mosaic. Is my thinking, because I'm going to need to do that with the 533 MC Pro anyway. So let me just get quickly back to 69. So we'll just tick that off. So I think this is the way for me to go. Now, I may change my mind if I run into any problems with my ASI 294 and the filter wheel. I can always flip over to the 533. I've got an alternative plan that I could adapt. But one of the biggest challenges for me is, as a beginner, there's moments of self-doubt. So, I think that's just the way it is when you don't know what you don't know. So that's why I'm taking the perspective that this is basically just going to be a fun trip. I'm going to have plenty of opportunities the remainder of the year to image from Bortle 3 and Bortle 4 skies, and those aren't too shabby. I'll even do some imaging from my backyard as well, so I can start in my mind, what are the real differences imaging between darker skies and more light polluted skies, in particular when you're imaging in narrow band. And I've also seen some comments in some of the forums that when you get into Bortle 1 skies, you should really shoot RGB because you're going to get greater efficiency out of doing that. But and while the Veil Nebula can be shot in RGB, I just think, to me, I want to take a shot at it on the narrow band. So anyway, you can tell me I'm crazy or whatever. I do appreciate your taking time to give me your comments and your thoughts. But this is the way I'm going to move forward, and we'll see where I wind up. What's worst case? I don't get any good data, but I think, I will. And again, this for me is a hobby. It's about learning. It's about challenges, and I want to create attractive, pretty pictures that are, look good to me. Yeah, I want to do that. But I also like the challenges, and I'm going to learn something through this experience. Hopefully I learned that I'm successful in shooting a 2-panel mosaic. But, until I go all the way through from start to finish, and yes, as some of the comments were, yes, the data collection is the easy part, PixInsight is the more challenging part. But I'll find out. I'll know in a week, and I'll do a video and I'll share what my experiences were. So anyway, all right, so this is the plan. Thanks again for taking a moment, those of you that gave me your feedback. Sure appreciate it. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And wherever you may be in the world, clear skies. Till next time.